Welcome back everyone, and welcome back to another girl-powered Day Zero build. Today we've got Itsuka Kendo making her debut. She is a 6 hand size 27 health character. She says form, commit. This character's hand size becomes 8 until the end of your next turn. Now what's cool about this ability is that it doesn't say first form. So at the end of the turn, once you've played all the cards you want to play, you can turn her sideways, and until the next turn, your hand size becomes 8, which is amazing. And then enhance, commit 1 foundation, your mid attack gets +2 damage, and stun 1, which means when you use the stun 1 enhance, your rival has to commit 1 foundation. She has 1B and student as her tags, and she has all, order, and water for her symbols. I chose the order symbol for today's Day Zero. And without further ado, let's get into our attack lineup. Our attack lineup is all mids. I leaned hard into the mid package. First off, we have Barrier Buster. This is just a really good opener. It's got Powerful 3, it's got Stun 1. You can spend a Momentum to increase all of its keywords by 1, which includes the Stun 1 that Kendo can give it. So you can commit a foundation to give it Stun 1, so it has Powerful 3 and Stun 1, Stun 1. Then you spend a Momentum, increase all of the keywords by 1, you have 2 instances of Stun 2, which can commit 4 foundations in your rival stage, which is insane. And then it says if your rival has 8 or more foundations, this attack gets 3 speed, so it becomes a 7 mid 5 with Stun 4, basically. It's just an all-around amazing attack, especially for setting up. It's just really solid. Then, of course, we have to have our Ultra Double Jumbo Fist. This is a 4 mid 4 that says, as a static, while it's in your card pool, all of your other attacks, mid attacks specifically, get +1 speed and +1 damage. And then as an enhance, you can add a copy of Double Jumbo Fist from your discard pile to your card pool, so it gets, and this attack gets +2 speed, +2 damage, effectively making this, with the static on the second Double Jumbo Fist, a 7 mid 7 as a 4 diff. And then all of your other mid attacks are going to get +2, +2. So really leaning heavy into this. This is the main thing I wanted to do, was just Double Jumbo Fist, stuff it in the card pool, stack a whole bunch of stats on all my other attacks, like Big Fist Bash. It's a 3 mid 3 starting out. It's a breaker 3, which is nuts, especially if you have ways to increase the breaker rating. As a static, it says if you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, it gets -1 difficulty and +2 damage, so a 3 difficulty, 3 mid for 5, stellar. And then you can discard 2 cards from your hand to add a mid attack not named Big Fist Bash from your card pool to your hand. So you can pick up the other Double Jumbo Fist that maybe you didn't play as an attack, the one that you picked up and put into your card pool with Double Jumbo Fist, and then you can play that one. It'd be on like a 6, maybe, but then if you had a third Double Jumbo Fist in your discard pile, you can add it and just stack a whole bunch more stats onto this one, and really do like this really cool loop play. I've got Gigantification Swing, because as another opener, this is stellar. It says enhance, spend a momentum. Your checks to play charge, fury, and slam attacks get +1 this turn. Every attack in our lineup has slam, fury, or charge, except for Patchwork Baby, but we'll get into that in a second. And then as a response, after you play this card, your rival's next check to play a card gets -2. So on block, it effectively acts as breaker 2. Or on attack, your rival's next check to block something gets -2. Which is really solid, especially if you're throwing a whole bunch of stats on these cards. And stunning out your rival by committing your foundations. Then we have Patchwork Baby, which is kind of the odd attack out. It gets +X speed. X equals the highest keyword rating you've played this turn. So when you're increasing ratings with things like Barrier Buster, so if you can spend a momentum, increase this to Powerful 4, and then spend a momentum for the Powerful 4, Patchwork Baby gets 4 speed. It also has Stun 2 on its own. It has it can get Stun 1 from Kendo, so that's effectively Stun 3. And then it gets +1 damage for each different keyword in your card pool, which is really cool when you've got cards like Gigantification Swing, which have 4 keywords, or Barrier Buster, which has 4 keywords. So Powerful, Stun, Punch, Slam is 4. Charge, Fury, Slam, Weapon, that's 7. And then Patchwork Baby is Tech and EX, which is 8 and 9. That's 9 damage from 3 attacks. So this becomes a 3 mid 10, 3 mid 12 with Kendo that can stun 3 on its own and gain speed. So Patchwork Baby, even though it doesn't fit in the attack scheme, the attack lineup that you want to run, can be almost an instant finisher if your rival's not prepared for it, which is really cool. And then Searing Strike. It's got Deadlock Powerful 6, so if they're in Deadlock, this can become super big. And it's another 4 diff that can draw you a card, because it says if you've played a keyword ability this turn, draw a card. Not this enhanced step, this turn. So not only can you give it Stun 1 with Kendo, and make it a 4 mid 6 with Stun 1 to draw a card, even if you didn't want to do that, and you just played one of these other stuns, you can just draw a card for free. And especially in an 8 hand size character, extra card draw is even more powerful. Moving on to our asset, we have It Unbox, because this is one of the best defensive pieces in the game right now, in my opinion. I love this card. Setting a card back to its printed stats after your rival has dumped a whole bunch of damage or a whole bunch of speed that you can't deal with on it. You know, younger Toguro, he may have gotten eroded a little bit, but he's still a threat. So stacking all that damage on something, or Endeavor 3 stacking a whole bunch of speed on something, this can just set back to printed stats and really make use of our 27 health as a resource. And it says if an attack was unblockable, it's no longer unblockable. So if your opponent's doing Mount Lady 2 things or Mushroom counter things, you can make something unblockable, blockable again. I've also used this offensively when a rival has reduced my speed or damage to 0 in order to close out games before, which is pretty funny, because they forget that you can use it on your own cards too. For our actions, we have Genkai's Guidance, again, one of the best actions in the game, in my opinion. You can destroy 3 foundations to remove an attack from the game when your rival tries to kill you, or you can start your turn by removing it and discarding a card. Your rival discards 1 card, and if we're an 8-hander, we play our action, we discard a card, we're back to our printed 6, so we're not really losing anything in trying to rip that card out of our rival's hand to ensure a kill turn. And then I've got Future is Now, which as a form can give our next attack 2 speed, 2 damage, and ignore progressive difficulty. So putting more stats on this Patchwork Baby that can kill us, and since we're not getting the check boost from Gigantification Swing, we're just playing this on a 5. It becomes a 5 mid for 3, which can get a whole lot crazier, as we've already seen, and can really stack up, say, if we've done a Gigantification Swing, and we have double Jumbo Fisted to stack on even more stats. So this is just a really good way to guarantee that your kill attack actually lands, and you don't have to completely commit out for it. So really solid, really cool. Moving on to attacks, we have Analytical Combatant, because when it's committed during the enhanced step, you can check the top card of your deck. You don't get to discard it, but you do get to check it, so you can see if you need to do more speed reduction, or if you need to stop your attack strain because you're about to check really bad, or if you have any draw, you can deal with that. Just overall, pretty nice, pretty neat, just peeking at the top of your deck to see what's going on. Big Sister of 1B, this card can give +2 speed, -2 speed, and +1 or -1 damage, all in its own, just by committing itself. So you can either on your turn make your attacks guarantee hit, your rival's turn, as long as you're that 8 hand size, can give any attack -2 speed and then -1 damage. Really solid overall. Really fun card. I think it's going to put in a lot of work, especially in characters like Kendo. Then we have Thoughtful Classmate. You flip this at the start of your end phase. You get to add a mid-attack from your card pool to your hand. We get to pick up Big Fist Bash and Breaker 3 and tell our opponent, we've got Breaker 3. Deal with that. Or if we don't have Big Fist Bash, we can pick up Gigantification Swing. I've got Breaker 2. Deal with that. Or if we know they're throwing lows, we can pick up Barrier Buster. But mainly, we're going to want to pick up Big Fist Bash and Gigantification Swing to either block and try to ruin our rival's turn, or play it in our next turn to try to guarantee that kind of kill. So, really cool. It's kind of like the best Genus attack for ranged attacks, but only for mid attacks. Oh, and you'll notice I did not go into the focused attack. I didn't use any focused attack. It only has punch and combo, so it doesn't work with Gigantification Swing. And if I'm going to be doing all of this, I'd rather my kill card be Patchwork Baby, which I feel can get a little bit bigger, just because it gets more damage other than just the 3. So instead of getting... It can get more than 9 damage, basically. And it's not a combo requirement, so I don't have to build my turn around that. I can just throw this whenever I need to. I've got Fighting for Control, just good check hack on our rival's turn to force them to try to commit out, especially when we're throwing stun on every attack. So having them commit more foundations on their turn is even better for us in the backswing. Ready for a rematch. This is a cool 6 check that as a tenacious ability, so playable while committed. If it's committed during the enhanced step, this attack is +1 or -1 speed. So reducing our rival's speed or increasing our speed as needed. Really fun. Acrobatic style. Must of 4 of when we're giving all our attacks stun, because when we stun, we can ready this card by flipping it. So, solid, especially when we're trying to string out wide. Botan's Coaching, just for some good draw and filter, and maybe ruin your rival's block chains, hopefully. New number 1 for speed reset, because sometimes your opponent wants things really fast, or wants your things really slow, and the ability to set it to printed and give +1 or -1 speed is always really good. Strength and Beauty, we are running all mids, so to be able to commit this and give our mid attack 2 speed, really solid. And then as a Tenacious ability, we can remove it to select an attack in our rival's card pool. It cannot leave the card pool during the combat phase. So if they're doing Bakugo 4 things or Younger Toguro things, we can seal that card in the card pool, lock it down, and it's playable while committed, so if we commit it due to our own effects on our turn or their stun effects or what have you, we can guarantee that we can mess up their turns and make them deal with all this progressive. We have Determined. This is another good 6-check foundation. It's a good deadlock. Our Fury Punch get +3 damage for free, so our rival's not going to want to go into deadlock if they see this on board, but if we're stunning everything, they kind of have to go into deadlock to block us. And then it can commit itself to make our blocks +0 as long as they share at least 2 symbols with us, which most of them do. Sense of Justice, another one of the best defensive cards for these tribal decks, Tribal Charge, Tribal Weapon, Tribal Tech. You can give -speed or -damage equal to the number of cards with that keyword in their card pool, in your rival's card pool. So we got a whole bunch of things that want to be Mono Charge, Mono Slam, Mono Tech, Mono Ranged. So this is just a really good way to rein those decks in defensively to either take no damage or guarantee block something. I've started putting more Can't Escape Me's in my decks now on any symbol that can run it, because there's so much free draw in this game. I used to love shutting down Mop Strike with it. Your rival discards a card, you blow this up, no one gets to draw. But now that Mop Strike's not around anymore, spoiler alert, got banned last week, this is more to just rein in some of that extra free draw that we're seeing all around the place. Drowning in Resentment boosts the damage on stun attacks. It's also playable while committed, so we can commit it to give our attack stun, and then flip it to give our stun attack 2 damage. Really solid. And then we can respond to if a card leaves a discard pile due to our rival's non-character effect, they add the top card of their deck to their card pool, so clogging them up if they're trying to remove something from their discard pile due to their effect. Like picking it up, adding to their hand, stuff like that. Really cool. And then Ice Gliding is just good offensively and defensively for speed, because our rival's going to want to block some of these big attacks, so putting a little bit more speed and just staggering that speed out throughout our string turns is really solid. And that is my Order Itsuka Kendo Day 0. What do you guys think of Kendo? Are you going to focus on focused attack, or are you going to do something like I did where you're kind of focusing more on the mid-game, focusing on just throwing big stun attack, big damage, kind of deals with that? I'd be interested to hear what you guys are doing with Kendo in the comments below. And until next time, see ya.